Hello, Math Masters. This is a quick refresher on our exercise of rounding to the tens. So let's remember that when we are looking at numbers, the first number on the right is the units, and the second number from the right is the tens. And so when we are looking at this number, we first had to determine what two tens does this number sit between? Is it between 50 and 60? Or, and the way we talked about in class was to cross out this number and pretend that it is a zero. So what number does that make? That makes 70. So this number is between 70 and the next 10, which is 80. So our number 75 is between those two numbers. So let's rewrite that so that we can see and put it in its proper place. So it's somewhere between 70 and 80. Perfect. And so we have our 5, which is in the units place, and we have our 7, which is in the tens place. So when we are rounding to the tens, we are trying to determine if we are rounding to 70 or rounding to 80 as far as which 10 this number is closest to. And because we're rounding to the tens place, we always look to the neighbor. And it's important to remember our neighbor because depending on what we are rounding to, that neighbor may not always be units. But since we're rounding to the tens today, our neighbor to the 10 is the 5. And this is the important part of our lesson that will help you to ensure that you're rounding to the proper 10 or the 10 that the number is closest to. And here is the rule. The rule says that if the neighbor is a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1, we select the smaller 10. And so in this case, if we're picking between 70 and 80, 70 is the smaller 10. The rule also says that if the neighbor is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, you select the higher 10 or the larger 10. In this case, that would be 80. And so now to solve our problem. So because our neighbor is a 5, which we see here, then we are going to round to the higher 10, which means if we're rounding 75, we round it to 80. That should help you to continue to be successful in your homework. Keep doing a great job.